Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to do a little Valentine's Day special where I'm gonna rank the bachelors and bachelorettes of Stardew Valley, and this is all gonna be my personal opinion. In the comments, feel free to disagree or agree, or just let me know what you think, because we all have our own opinions. Just be nice. And if you hear a little kitty, I have a little kitty in my lap. I don't know if you can hear her purring. I doubt it. But I was going to record this video, and I recorded it once, and I didn't like it. So I started to record it again, and the power went out around the whole neighborhood and other neighborhoods. So it's back on. So we're going to just get rolling. So first, we're going to start off with Penny. Now, Penny, a lot of people say she's boring, and I can see why they say that, because, Penny, she's a sweet, shy girl, she works with the children, she's a teacher, but other than that, all she really does is read. However, that is one of my hobbies, so I feel like Penny is just me in a very different font. But, on her heart events, it's nothing too memorable. We learn she's a bad cook. She lives with her mom, and that's not going too well. And then, she pushes Craig, or George. She pushes the old man in his wheelchair, trying to get the mail. So, yeah. But personally, in my experience in romancing her, I didn't really feel the connection. I see why people don't like her, and I see why some people might. But I'm going to just put her at C, because she's very, just kind of average, not much going on. Next, we have Maru. Honestly, I'm going to put her in the same category as Penny, because Maru, her storyline is nice. It's just her with Demetrius, her strict father. But all we really see her do is, working on her experiments, and just, the game just showing us how smart she is. But other than that, it's just her dealing with her strict father. There's not much connection between her and the farmer. So that's why I want to put her lower. But she is a nice character. So, okay. Next, we have Leah. Now, Leah, I do want to place her higher up, because she is the artsy, lives in a cottage, is in the forest getting her own food. She's very interesting, and her whole story is, leaving the city and then coming to a small town, wanting to pursue art, because back in the city, she was with someone who did not, believe in her at all. So then, one of her heart events is having a showcase in Pelican Town, and I think, her story and stuff is really cute. I don't know if I would put her in A tier, but I would put her pretty high up. I might put her in a B. I'll put her in a B. Next, we have Haley. A lot of people's favorites. Honestly, I did like her story a little bit. We go from this, she's the stereotypical popular girl, likes fashion, all that stuff, and is mean to you at the beginning, but as you get to know her more and all her heart events, she gets nicer, she opens up, out of her shell. We've learned she likes photography and stuff, and I do like that little development. So, for Haley, I'm gonna put her A category, because I really do like her character development throughout the game. And then next, we have Emily, who's Haley's sister. Now, Emily, I do like her. She's this funky character, but a lot of her heart events aren't really romance. It's more her either having some crazy dream, getting boogie with it, helping a bird, which is very sweet, but you don't see the development between her and the farmer. I did like her scene where she has that kind of clothing therapy, so I do like Emily. It's just we don't see a lot of her and the farmer together, so for that, I'm going to put her in a B. Last, for the bachelorettes, we have Abigail. Abigail, she has a nice story going for her. She is this adventurous gamer girl, but she has a strict father who doesn't like that about her, so it's just her like wanting to be an adventurer, like all this stuff, but having to fight with her father to kind of like want to do that stuff. So I do like that, but I might put her down just for eating rocks. I don't know. I don't know. I might put her in B, because like Emily, she can be quite a quirky character. Okay, now we have Shane. Shane, I don't really like him. His whole story arc is getting over addiction, and I just feel like that story is good, you know, you are helping him and stuff, but the thing is, I feel like it's better to play that as like being his friend and seeing that development, because I don't like how once you marry him, his heart events are you suspecting he's going back to his old ways. I don't like that. And then I don't like his spouse room either, and then a lot of his dialogue is still like oh, give me a cold one. I don't like that. So for that, I'm gonna put him in a C. He is still a good character to play and stuff, but mainly as a friend, not really romance. Now we have Sebastian. Listen, I'm a Sebastian stan. I do understand why people don't like him. You know, he's too mysterious and stuff. I do get that. But I like that about him. I like how he opens up and all that stuff. You know, we get to see his development from going from this quiet guy in a basement, you know, just very introverted. But I do like his hobbies, you know, D&D, practically D&D, you know, sci-fi, novels, programming, gaming. I love that. I feel like me and him will get along. We vibe kind of well. But I do kind of wish we saw more of his development, like either in Maru's cutscenes or in Sebastian's cutscenes, because in the whole game, Sebastian doesn't really have a connection or like relationship with his stepfather at all. So it would have been nice to like see him, like maybe get along with him more, talk to him, because Demetrius does not talk about Sebastian whatsoever. And it would also it would have been nice to like see a development between them, or a development between him and his sister, because him and Maru, they're half siblings, but they don't really talk to each other, they don't really get along. It would have been nice to see a development between them two, but I feel like that could be said for like either character. But not gonna lie, his 10 heart event, when you marry him and stuff, going out into the rain and then finding a frog and nursing it back to health and keeping it, I love that. I absolutely love that. Sam, I do like him as a character. He's goofy, and unlike the other marriage candidates, you know, after you marry a lot of the characters, their like hopes, dreams, passions, it just kind of gets put to the side, never to be seen again. I do like how his heart events are where he is pursuing more of his career in music, so I do like that. But Sam's a little too stupid for me, so I'm gonna put him in B. I still like him. He is a very good marriage candidate. Okay, next we have Harvey. I like Harvey. I like Harvey. He's my second favorite below Sebastian, because, you know, he's just a sweet guy. He's a male wife. You know, his heart events, we see him pretty much doing Pilates. We help him get over his fear of heights. You know, we see him being a doctor. I like that. But the reason he's not S tier is because when you marry him, you still have to pay whenever you go to the clinic. So he's going in A tier for me. Elliot, let me explain. I am not an Elliot stan. I don't like Elliot. You know, he comes off as pretentious. You know, his one heart scene where you go into the bar, he's like, hey, bartender, get me a drink and get my lady friend a drink here too. Bro, that bartender, his name is Gus. Get his name right. And like, I hate his cutscene, the heart event, like when you are dating him, because after you date characters, you know, they'll have a heart event where it's like, you know, little smooch between you and said character. Why? Tell me why. I hate this. Elliot, he takes you on a boat. You know, that seems romantic. He takes you into the water. Romantic. Tell me why he literally jumps on you And then your only 2 responses, because he's like, oh, you're shaking, is to say I don't want this, or I just like it. I don't like that. I don't like how he jumps at you, and then literally in the game you are literally shaking. I don't like that. Not only that, when you marry him, you know, he has a book, he goes on tour for that book. His whole heart of it is literally leaving and sending you letters. I don't like that. You know, he's supposed to be the romantic character. I don't see that going on, and I hate his side eye. I don't like that. Next we have Alex. Alex, he is a good character. I don't like how when you are the girl farmer, he can be very sexist. You know, he's only really good if you play as the male farmer. But I'm not gonna lie, that scene on the beach when he talks about his mom, that's sad as hell. But he's not a favorite. He goes in B tier with Sam. And then all the other ones. So, looking at all the final tier list, we have S. S for Sebastian. Perfect. S for Sebastian. We have A. We have Haley and Harvey, the H's. I'm content with this. We have B. We have Leah, Emily, Abigail, Sam, and Alex. I'm content with this. And then we have Penny, Maru, and Shane in C tier. We don't have anyone in D tier, but we do have Ellie in F tier. Love, like, are pretty okay. And then no, get out of here. Those are my tiers. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. And goodbye.